Hello everyone, my name is David Camposano. I'm a solution engineer for MuleSoft, and today I'd like to talk to you about how MuleSoft's innovations has increased the speed in which developers can create APIs and integrations. The industry has seen rapid changes with the rise of AI, and IDEs are no different. Today, developers are choosing to use AI IDEs, which are essentially developer environments with embedded agents. These embedded agents enable developers to create APIs, integrations, and complex applications all using natural language. And MuleSoft's initial investment in Anypoint Code Builder has allowed us to natively integrate with these tools such as Cursor, Windsurf, and Tray. So MuleSoft meets you where you're at. So if a developer chooses to write in VS Code with Einstein, we can do that. If they choose to use a third-party AI IDE such as Cursor, we also enable them to do that as well. And so today, what I'd like to show you is a quick demo in how you can use natural language to create an open API spec. So I'll be using MuleSoft Cursor to create an API that talks to an external database hosted on AWS. So let's jump right in. So the first tool I'll be using is something called dbeaver, and this is a database tool that allows developers to view their database and also has another set of tools to increase productivity. So the table that I'll be interacting with is an accounts table. It has a few columns: account ID, two date columns, first name, last name, etc., account type. So with dbeaver, it has some pretty cool tools that you can use to increase your productivity. So the first thing I'll show you is how we can grab the database schema. We can do that by generating SQL that then gives us the definition of the table. So you can see it has all the columns and the column types right here. So that's one thing I'll be using. The next tool I'll use is the export data. So I can choose the how to export this data. I'll be using JSON. So I'll go next, 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 and proceed. And that has copied the data to my clipboard. All right, so now let's jump into Cursor. So here we have Cursor. This is developer environment and AI IDE, but MuleSoft has an extension called Anypoint Code Builder that allows us to design APIs. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll name my project 062725 Accounts API. Select my business group and the API spec language. So I'll go ahead and create this project. Appears there's already a name. Let's just do V2. Awesome, so that's created. And you can see API Designer has created the scaffold for this API spec. The next thing I'll do is begin to prompt the embedded agent in Cursor. So let's go ahead and grab a prompt that I've already pre-created. Here's API prompts. So I'm just going to walk us through the entire prompt and then bring it over to the other environment. So create an open API spec 3.0 REST API that communicates with a MySQL database hosted on AWS. The next thing I'll do is give the agent the schema that I got from dbeaver. You can see it here. I give it a few additional prompts. Take note of the column types and constraints. This API should be able to get all accounts, get an account by account ID, and create an account. It should be able to handle the following HTTP methods: get and post. Then give it the response codes as well, 200 all the way to 400. I also give it the database credentials. And this is the accounts table data in JSON format that I copied to my clipboard earlier. So let's just grab all of this and bring it over to the API spec that we're building. Now you can see the magic. Cursor is going to go ahead and create this API for us. It's also creating the example responses and the data types as well. Let's accept the file. We see the path is accounts. We have the method get here. This would grab all of the accounts along with the response types. Here's post, create a new account. Then we have a get accounts by account ID, the get. Then it also created the schema for the data types. So we have the account. That looks good to me. Just want to check one thing on post. Here's the request body. That's right. So it shouldn't have account ID because the integration will handle that part. The next thing we can do, because we're fully integrated with Anypoint, we can then publish this API directly to Exchange. 1.0.0. I'll hit publish. While it's publishing, I'm just going to ask it to create API documentation. Create an API documentation in .md. We could see that it's been published. Let's go ahead and check this asset. And you can see we have the accounts endpoint with get and post. We also have the account ID endpoint. Let's go ahead and grab that documentation as well. Looks like it's still working on that. Should be just a moment. That is done. The next thing I'll do is Cursor allows you to view this documentation so you can have a preview of what it will look like. I'll just grab all of this, edit this documentation, hit save and publish. So now we have a fully functional API spec along with documentation, and this was all done using natural language. Stay tuned for part 2 when I show you how you can use Cursor to build out the integration in a similar format. Thank you and have a great day.